Managing difficult colleagues at work, it can be a challenge, and very often it's impacting our mental health, and we ended up even thinking about like leaving a specific workplace because we don't feel comfortable anymore. So what you can do from your end in order to control whatever you can control at work and managing these difficult people. Today, I'm going to share with you some simple strategies or probably techniques that you can apply from tomorrow in order to make sure that you can handle difficult people at work, or at least the situations, and that you boost a little bit your motivation. The first things that I really suggest you to do is to stay focused and objective on your work, keeping the professionalism as the key ingredients and the work meta as the main focus of your day. It's very important in order to exclude automatically all those things that are not really related to the job itself. So it helps you to keep the focus, to keep, like the motivation high and the positivity, and just to put your head and your brain, your energy during the day on those things that really matters to complete your job, to complete your task. Make sure that you know that you are doing everything that you can in order to do your job properly as for your best potential, and you don't get distracted by self-doubting or, passive-aggressive personalities around you. One of the things that you can do to stay objective and to stay very focused is avoiding gossiping. If you know that in that moment in your company there is a little bit of toxic behavior or toxic environment that can really impact on your mental health and your professionalism, try to avoid all those moments where you have chit-chats with these difficult people, or moment where you know that there is going to be like a little bit of gossiping. Try to stay out of this chit-chat so that people see you as a very professional entity and they see you as a respectful professional. Whenever there is a situation where you are having discussions with these difficult people and you feel that you are getting trapped into those toxic behavior that you really try to avoid as much as you can, try to apply a little bit of active listening. Active listening and empathy can be very strong area of emotional intelligence that you can apply at work with simple techniques. So for example, don't just talk about your point of view, but try to listen others and understanding their point of view with a real clear mind, without biases or prejudice. Try to really ask questions about what do you mean about this? Could you please explain better this point? So that you can really understand their point of view, and whatever answer you will be providing is an answer that comes from what they said and not what just you believe it's right. Every time you don't agree with them and you feel that somehow you apply empathy, you apply active listening, but you still don't think they are right and there is something wrong, their way of approaching you or the way of conducting or managing conflict, is very important that you very professionally disagree with them and you make your work count. Don't be passive, don't be submissive too much, because that's not good for your mental health, but also your self-respect. At the same time, don't become aggressive, but very respectfully disagree and say that I will think about it. At this point, I don't really agree with you. Try to close the situation with politeness, but also with some statements and some very good values and principles that we should always keep very alive in a workplace, like respect for diversity or respect for different type of cultures, background, and way of thinking. Whenever you feel that you have been disrespected, the first things that you can do is to make sure that you reestablish the respect through a very polite and assertive behavior. So very professional and polite assertive behavior, saying that you respectfully disagree and you don't really appreciate that type of tone. And you can use a lot of I statement. So with the I in terms of I think, in my opinion, I believe, in order to reestablish your position. All of this needs to happen in a very professional and assertive way, but it needs to happen in order to make sure that you get respected by the people around you. The second thing that you can do whenever the situation becomes very, out of control, or like it reaches some certain limits, it goes over and it's not acceptable anymore, I suggest that you talk to your manager, talk to your people above you, or if the problem is your manager itself, you go above your manager and you really, with an open mindset and with an open, heart, you share with HR or whoever is in charge your concern and your state of frustration for this situation that has happened, and you report facts as exactly as they happen. Try to avoid any subjectivity, like any too emotional involvement in this reporting the facts. Try to stay very objective so that people can see that things have happened in an objective way, and there is nothing from an emotional point of view that is impacting your way of living or see things. Part of the emotional intelligence, we have self-awareness and self-regulation. These are very important aspects that I strongly suggest you go and check and study more or read more about. So managing our emotions when we feel something that it's wrong, or we feel somehow trapped, or we feel that something is getting personal, it's one of the most difficult things to do and require a lot of training. But once you reach that point where you are self-regulated and you know your emotions and you know how to manage that response, it's very important that you apply this principle and you know how to do it to keep the environment very healthy and also very objective as well. Last but not least, super important, try to keep the intention of finding a solution always alive. Sometimes we feel frustrated and we'll feel somehow that things is getting personal. We feel overlooked. No one cares about how do we feel in that situation. However, even though you feel in this way, try to always keep a communication very open and always share your intention to find a solution. The point needs to always be to build up and to improve as a team and not to destroy or to close into your sphere of frustration. So I know it's difficult because it happened to me as well in the past, but try to keep the communication alive, a very open mindset, and try to share your very pure and genuine intention of building instead of destroying. A very good tip that I can give you is that difficult colleagues or toxic environment, really try your patience. So they really are tempestive and very aggressive, sometimes passive aggressive, continuously, week after week. So what you can do is to be very patient in understanding that is a trial. Keep your calm. You need to keep your mindset open, your emotional response regulated, and that you can always open up for discussion in order to remain healthy and successful at work from a mental perspective. Thank you so much for watching, and subscribe to my channel if you like the content, and stay tuned for other successful tips on how to manage your mental and emotional sphere in the workplace. Bye!